Hello folks, Jack here from Peach Guitars. Welcome to an introduction to a brand new amplifier from Suhr. Finally got my hands on one. I'm going to walk you through the brand new Suhr Hombre amp today, but before I do, as always, please remember to like this video if you've enjoyed it, comment down below with your thoughts, and make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Okay, yes, so I've really wanted to get my hands on one of these amps ever since I heard Andy Wood playing it at the NAMM show earlier this year. I was really excited to kind of sample what I think is one of John Suhr's specialties, which is really finely detailing and recreating some old vintage amp circuits. It's obviously something that John Suhr is very passionate about and has implemented in different products throughout the stages of his career in different ways. Usually he does like to put his own spin on things, but in the case of the Hombre, what he's done here is just pay homage to one of his favourite amplifiers in existence and really pretty much clone it, but just obviously make it much more accessible now for the modern player to actually get a hold of one of these things, because they're quite rare amplifiers. I'm talking about the original 6263 Brownface 6G3 circuit deluxe. So that was an amp from Fender that was most notably used by Billy Gibbons in the early days of ZZ Top's recording career. On the first few albums, it was most likely this amplifier that was doing most of the work. Hence the name in honour of the Tres Hombres album. At least that's my take on where he got the name from. So I think that John Suhr just really wanted to recreate that amp as best as he could. And as I say, there's not a whole lot about it that would suggest that it's a Suhr product. If it didn't have this badge on it, you would just imagine that it's a great recreation of an original Fender amplifier. And that was very much the goal. So it was really to clone that kind of classic circuit. Very simple amplifier as well, and that's what I really like about it. It's 18 watts, and it's driven by two 6V6s in the power section. You've just got three 12AX7 tubes, which do all the work, and you've got a 5AR4 rectifier tube as well. And this is a little bit of a departure from Suhr. We know them for their marvellous technologies, and recently you've seen amplifiers like the PT, where they've really pioneered some clever tech in terms of putting reactive loads and IR simulations and stuff like that into amplifiers, so they're really at the cutting edge of stuff like that. And it's refreshing to see that in the same breath they can recreate something as pure and simple as this. So one of the things I love about the Hombre is, as I say, just how simple it is, and it's obvious that I think John Suhr has just removed every possible component from the signal path that he could to ensure that you're getting the maximum fidelity in the tone. And that's of course the magic of those old 50s, 60s amplifiers that most guitar players adore. They sound the way they do just because they are so minimal inside. And that's exactly what Suhr have intended to do. With this amplifier, it's still hand-wired in their USA factory, but I know it's been designed to be very easy to work on if you should have to do so. And basically maintenance is going to be a breeze on an amp like this just because it is so simple on the inside. So aside from the obvious specs that I've talked through about the tube complement and stuff like that, it is of course a 1x12 combo, which famously in the past Suhr have talked about not really being that big on combos. He's more of a head and cab kind of amp guy when it comes to designing his products. But I guess that's just testament to how great this amplifier circuit is, that he felt it was the right thing to do to implement into his own product lineup. To actually have a 1x12 combo is quite a big thing in the Suhr range. Of course, we have seen the Bella in recent years, which was available as a head as well. This amplifier is just available as a 1x12 combo. So that's quite a novelty, I think, and I think it's something that hopefully we might see some more examples of going forward in Suhr's company. He might turn his attention to other classic combo amp designs, who knows. Okay, so just a word on the kind of design ethos of this amp and the way the circuit reacts. I think is a little bit different to what most people might be familiar with if you're referencing old Fender amp circuits. So for example, it sits somewhere between, not only chronologically but also tonally, between the Tweed era amps and the Blackface era amps. The Brownface amps have that kind of warm, bloomy quality that the Tweed amps do, and that a lot of players really revere them for. But they're also a little bit tighter, they sound a little bit more composed and together. The clean tones are maybe a little bit more sparkly and open sounding than a Tweed might be. And this amplifier is a little bit unique in terms of the way it's laid out, because it's got pretty much two identical channels, but the normal and bright channels are separated. The inputs are separated. Normally you'd see a bright switch on a Fender amp, but the channels are separated, which I think actually means the workflow is a little bit more linear in a way, because you can obviously set different controls for each sound that you like, and then you can just switch the inputs, rather than on a traditional amplifier where you'd have to change the controls and flick the switch if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to have different settings, whether your bright was on or off. So it's nice to have them separated on two channels. And then most notably, the only effect in the amplifier is tube biased tremolo, which is very, very different to many other forms of tremolo out there. It really integrates with the amp circuit, and you'll notice when I'm playing that I really don't ever turn the tremolo off, and that's because when you dig into the amp, because it's tube biased, that's the way it operates, you actually get a slightly lessened effect in the tremolo, and then when you turn down the volume or ease off on your pick attack, the tremolo effect comes out in a more musical, dynamic kind of a way. So I really like that effect, and they've implemented it in a great, tasteful way in this amp. So it is really one of those things that just becomes a part of the amp's tone. It's less of an effect and more of just a tone shaping thing, and I really like that. You can foot switch it on and off with the foot switch that the amp comes with, that I've put on the top there. It's just a really, really clean, simple design, and if you're looking for a very lightweight grab and go kind of combo amplifier, Suhr have finally got you covered now. You've got that in the form of this Hombre amp. So all the tones today, by the way, are just going to be played on one guitar. I've just got the classic T, and I'm using a Coco boost reloaded for a mid boost only on the bright channel clips that you're going to hear, and very occasionally. I just wanted to show how great these amps sound when they're cranked up by themselves, and also when they're aided by a big fat mid-range boost in the front end as well. You're also going to hear a couple of tones on the normal channel, one where I've got it set for a cleaner tone, which is actually a very nice warm tone with a faster tremolo sound, and I've also pinned the volume and cranked up the tone a bit, so you can hear that this amp really excels at that really fat and quite, it sounds like it's caving in almost, but it's really controlled. So it's got the best elements of the Tweed amps, it's got some of the best elements of the Blackface Fender amps, and it's all wrapped up in a package that I think is quite unique on the amp market today. So well done, Suhr. I think you've made a great amplifier. I'm sure you guys will appreciate it, and if you want to pick one up for yourselves, get over to peachguitars.com as quickly as you can to do so. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, please leave a like and comment down below with your thoughts if you have. Make sure that you subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. And if you'd like to find out any more information about any of Suhr's products, head over to peachguitars.com. So that's it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.